Most relationships don't end with a dramatic fight or a single mistake. They die slowly, like a fire running out of oxygen. And the truth? Over 80% of relationships don't fail because of lack of love. They fail because of something much deeper. Something that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. If you've ever felt someone slipping away, if you've ever watched a relationship fade and wondered why, then this video is for you. Today, we're breaking down the biggest reason most relationships fail. Not cheating, not distance, not even fighting, but something much more common. Something happening in relationships all around us, every single day. And the best part, once you understand this, you can change the course of your love life forever. The biggest reason relationships fail: emotional disconnection. Emotional disconnection is one of the silent killers of relationships. Unlike cheating, lying, or constant arguing, things that are easy to recognize, emotional disconnection creeps in quietly. It doesn't happen overnight, but rather through a series of small moments where partners stop feeling emotionally safe, seen, or valued. Emotional disconnection occurs when two partners no longer feel deeply bonded or emotionally intimate. This doesn't mean they don't love each other. It means they stop feeling emotionally fulfilled within the relationship. Conversations become shallow, talking about logistics instead of feelings. There's less effort in showing love, appreciation, or excitement. The relationship starts feeling more like a routine than a partnership. Over time, this emotional gap widens, leaving one or both partners feeling alone, unheard, or emotionally neglected. There are several reasons emotional disconnection can take root in a relationship. 1. Lack of quality time. Couples often get caught up in work, responsibilities, or social media, leaving little time for deep emotional connection. Simply being in the same room is not the same as truly being present with each other. 2. Poor communication. Many couples talk, but they don't truly connect through conversation. They avoid difficult topics or bottle up their feelings, creating distance. Over time, partners stop sharing their deeper thoughts, fears, and dreams. 3. Unresolved resentment. Small conflicts that go unresolved can turn into emotional walls. If one partner feels unheard or dismissed, they slowly start withdrawing. The relationship becomes a cycle of avoiding emotional vulnerability to avoid conflict. For lack of emotional safety, when a person feels judged, criticized, or ignored, they stop opening up. If a partner dismisses or minimizes the other's feelings, emotional walls go up. Over time, emotional safety disappears, and partners shut down emotionally. 5. Routine and complacency. The honeymoon phase fades and partners stop putting in effort. There's a lack of romantic gestures, deep conversations, and shared new experiences. The relationship starts feeling predictable, stagnant, or even boring. How emotional disconnection destroys relationships. Emotional disconnection doesn't usually lead to immediate breakups. Instead, it causes police car-like emotional loneliness. One or both partners start feeling alone, even when they're together. Police car-like loss of attraction and affection. Physical intimacy often declines when emotional closeness fades. Police car-like increased conflict or avoidance. Small issues feel bigger because there's no emotional foundation. Police car-like temptation to seek connection elsewhere. If someone feels emotionally neglected, they may seek comfort in friendships, social media, or even emotional affairs. Without an emotional connection, a relationship can turn into two people coexisting rather than deeply loving each other. How to rebuild emotional connection. The good news? Emotional disconnection can be reversed if both partners are willing to put in the effort. Here's how. Red Heart: prioritize quality time. Put away distractions and create space for deep conversations, fun, and emotional closeness. Red Heart: improve communication. Be open, honest, and vulnerable about your thoughts and feelings. Red Heart: express gratitude and appreciation. Small acts of kindness and verbal affirmations help rebuild emotional closeness. Red Heart: reignite romance and affection. Surprise your partner, plan dates, and bring back the excitement. Red Heart: create emotional safety. Make sure both partners feel heard, understood, and supported in the relationship. Relationships don't fail because of one big moment. They fail because of repeated moments where connection was lost and never repaired. But if you recognize the signs and take action, you can rebuild a relationship that isn't just surviving, but thriving. Emotional disconnection doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, often without you realizing it, until one day, you feel like you and your partner are worlds apart. Here are the key signs that emotional disconnection is taking hold in your relationship. Conversations feel surface level or forced. White heavy checkmark. You still talk, but only about daily tasks, work, or other surface level topics. White heavy checkmark. Deep, meaningful conversations have become rare or non-existent. White heavy checkmark. When you try to open up, the response feels distant, uninterested, or dismissive. Example: instead of sharing thoughts, dreams, or worries, your conversations revolve around, did you take out the trash? Or what's for dinner? You feel alone even when you're together. White heavy checkmark. You sit in the same room, but there's no real connection or warmth. White heavy checkmark. There's an emotional wall, like you're living separate lives under the same roof. White heavy checkmark. You don't feel emotionally safe or supported when expressing your thoughts. Example: you're next to your partner on the couch, but they're lost in their phone, TV, or work. You don't feel their presence, just their physical body. Physical intimacy has faded. White heavy checkmark. Hugs, kisses, and affectionate touches are rare. White heavy checkmark. Physical intimacy feels robotic, or like a chore rather than an emotional connection. White heavy checkmark. There's a noticeable lack of desire or warmth in physical interactions. Example: you used to hold hands or kiss for no reason, but now those small acts of affection feel forced, or they don't happen at all. You no longer share your thoughts, feelings, or dreams. White heavy checkmark. You don't feel comfortable sharing your struggles, fears, or personal goals. White heavy checkmark. When something exciting or upsetting happens, your first instinct isn't to tell your partner. White heavy checkmark. Your partner doesn't seem interested in your inner world anymore. Example: you used to talk about your future plans, personal dreams, or even random thoughts. But now, you keep them to yourself because your partner seems uninterested or dismissive. You feel like roommates, not romantic partners. White heavy checkmark. The relationship feels more like a routine than a deep emotional bond. White heavy checkmark. You function as a team for responsibilities, bills, kids, housework, but lack emotional closeness. White heavy checkmark. There's no excitement, passion, or deep emotional engagement. Example: you're great at managing household tasks together, but there's no laughter, no inside jokes, and no deeper emotional intimacy. You avoid emotional or difficult conversations. White heavy checkmark. Important issues get ignored because it feels easier to stay silent. White heavy checkmark. When you do talk about feelings, it leads to defensiveness, dismissiveness, or shutdowns. White heavy checkmark. You've stopped trying to fix problems because it feels like nothing changes. Example: instead of talking about what's bothering you, you suppress your emotions or distract yourself to avoid conflict. Point 1, or both of you seek connection elsewhere. White heavy checkmark. You, or your partner, start confiding in friends, coworkers, or even social media more than each other. White heavy checkmark. You feel emotionally supported by people outside the relationship, not by your partner. White heavy checkmark. You notice subtle emotional infidelity, seeking validation, attention, or comfort from someone else. Example: when something is stressing you out, your instinct is to vent to a friend instead of your partner, because you don't feel emotionally safe with them anymore. You feel more drained than fulfilled in the relationship. White heavy checkmark. Instead of feeling supported and uplifted, the relationship feels exhausting. White heavy checkmark. You feel emotionally neglected or unimportant. White heavy checkmark. You often ask yourself, do they even care anymore? Example: instead of feeling joy or comfort around your partner, you feel emotionally drained, lonely, or unfulfilled, even if nothing big has happened. How to rebuild emotional connection and save your relationship. If you've recognized the signs of emotional disconnection in your relationship, don't panic. This doesn't mean it's over. Emotional connection can be rebuilt with consistent effort, open communication, and intentional actions. Here's how. Prioritize quality time together. White heavy checkmark. Spend uninterrupted time together. No phones, no distractions. White heavy checkmark. Plan regular date nights or activities you both enjoy. White heavy checkmark. Be present. listen, engage, and show genuine interest in each other's world. Example: instead of just watching TV together, go on a walk and talk, cook a meal together, or revisit an old hobby you both enjoyed. Improve communication. Talk about more than just the day-to-day. White heavy checkmark: move beyond surface-level conversations. White heavy checkmark: ask thoughtful questions like, what's been on your mind lately? What's something you've been wanting to talk about but haven't? White heavy checkmark: validate your partner's feelings instead of trying to fix everything. Example: instead of just saying, how was your day? Ask, what was the best part of your day? What made you feel the most stressed? Reignite physical and emotional intimacy. White heavy checkmark: hug, kiss, and hold hands without a reason. Small touches build connection. White heavy checkmark: surprise your partner with small acts of affection, notes, thoughtful gestures. White heavy checkmark: have open conversations about physical intimacy. Make sure both of you feel desired and connected. Example: instead of rushing through daily routines, take a moment to hug a little longer, or give a compliment that feels meaningful. Acknowledge the small things your partner does. Don't take them for granted. White heavy checkmark: say thank you, and I appreciate you often. White heavy checkmark: celebrate your partner's efforts, no matter how small. Example: instead of assuming your partner knows you appreciate them, say it out loud. I love how you always make me laugh when I need it most. Listen without judgment. Don't dismiss or belittle their feelings. White heavy checkmark: show empathy. I see where you're coming from. White heavy checkmark: apologize when needed. Own your mistakes instead of being defensive. Example: if your partner shares something vulnerable, respond with understanding. I didn't realize you felt that way. I appreciate you telling me. Try new activities together. Travel, take a class, explore new places. White heavy checkmark: break out of routines to keep the relationship fresh and exciting. White heavy checkmark: surprise your partner with something special. A date, a handwritten letter, or a thoughtful gesture. Example: if you've been stuck in a routine, plan a spontaneous weekend trip, or do something new together, like learning a skill or taking a dance class. Open up about your fears, dreams, and emotions. Don't hide parts of yourself. White heavy checkmark: ask for support when you need it. White heavy checkmark: let your partner see the real you, even when it feels scary. Example: instead of saying, I'm fine, when something is bothering you, try, I've been feeling overwhelmed lately, and I'd love to talk about it with you. Talk about your shared future. Where do you both see yourselves in a year? 5 years? White heavy checkmark: work on personal growth together. Support each other's dreams and ambitions. White heavy checkmark: make a habit of checking in. How can we make our relationship even stronger? Example: set small relationship goals like having deeper conversations, planning monthly date nights, or reading a book together. At the end of the day, relationships don't fail because of a lack of love. They fail because of a lack of connection. But now that you know this, you have the power to change it. The question is, will you take action? If you're ready to build a stronger, healthier relationship, make sure to check out our next video, How to Build and Maintain a Healthy Relationship. It's packed with practical steps to help you create a love that lasts. Click on it now, and let's keep growing together.